Tonight, as you settle into the comfort of your bed, imagine for a moment that somewhere among the countless stars scattered across the velvet darkness above us, there exists a world so remarkably similar to our own that it might harbor the gentle stirrings of life itself. The James Webb Space Telescope, our newest eye upon the cosmos, has recently whispered to us of such a place, a distant planet with a 99.7% chance of hosting life. Before we begin this peaceful journey together through the cosmos, if you enjoy these relaxing science stories, feel free to subscribe, give this video a like, and comment below. Let me know what country you're watching from and what time you're listening to this tonight. Your presence here, sharing this quiet moment under the same starlit sky, connects us all in this beautiful tapestry of wonder. Close your eyes now, if you haven't already, and let your breathing slow. Feel the weight of your body sinking gently into your mattress as we prepare to drift together through space and time, following the golden mirrors of the James Webb Telescope as they capture ancient starlight and reveal secrets that have been waiting billions of years to be discovered. Tonight, we'll travel not with rockets or spacecraft, but with our imagination, floating weightlessly through the cosmic ocean, toward a world that might just be teeming with life. The universe is vast and patient, and so shall we be as we explore its mysteries. Let the gentle rhythm of discovery wash over you like waves upon a distant shore. Asterisk, asterisk, picture, if you will, a drop of morning dew suspended on a spider's web in your garden. Within that single perfect sphere, the entire world is reflected upside down, miniaturized, but complete. The trees, the sky, your home, all captured in that tiny liquid mirror. Now imagine that our Earth, our blue marble floating in the cosmic dark, is like that dewdrop. And somewhere out there, 22 light years away, another dewdrop hangs in space, perhaps reflecting its own version of morning light across alien meadows. This is the gentle curiosity that the James Webb Space Telescope has stirred within us. As you lie here in the darkness, your body growing heavier with each breath, consider this. What if the feeling of home, that deep, cellular recognition of a place where life can flourish, isn't unique to our small blue world? What if the universe, in its infinite creativity, has painted other canvases with the same loving brushstrokes of possibility? The planet we're journeying toward tonight exists in what astronomers softly call the habitable zone, though I prefer to think of it as the embrace zone, that perfect distance from its star where water might flow like gentle streams, where the temperature allows for the delicate dance of molecules that we call life. Not too hot, not too cold, but just right, like the porridge in that old fairy tale, like the temperature of your room right now as you drift deeper into comfort. What if this distant world has seasons? Imagine alien leaves changing color in patterns we've never seen, perhaps from silver to deep purple, or from golden yellow to the softest blue. What if it has weather? Picture gentle rains falling on landscapes that have never known human footsteps, nourishing soils rich with possibilities we can't yet fathom. What if, right now, as you breathe in and breathe out, something else is breathing too, beneath foreign constellations, under the light of a different sun? The James Webb Telescope didn't find this world by accident. It was searching, as we all search in our quiet moments, for connection, for the comforting knowledge that we are not alone in this vast cosmos. The telescope's golden mirrors, each one polished to perfection, work together like a symphony orchestra, each mirror playing its part in capturing the faintest whispers of light that have traveled across the galaxy to reach us dot, and in that light ancient starlight that began its journey when the universe was young, scientists discovered something extraordinary. The atmosphere of this distant world, designated K218b, contains water vapor. Water, that most precious and familiar of substances, The same water that fills our oceans, flows in our rivers, and sustains every living thing we know. But more than that, they found hints of dimethyl sulfide, a molecule that on Earth is only produced by living things. Can you imagine the moment of discovery? The quiet excitement of scientists hunched over computer screens in the deep of night, seeing patterns in the data that suggested life. Not the dramatic, explosive life of science fiction, but the gentle, persistent life that we know, microscopic organisms perhaps, quietly going about their business of existence, as natural as your own heartbeat, as peaceful as you're breathing right now. This world orbits a red dwarf star, smaller and cooler than our sun, casting a softer, more amber light across any landscapes. That night exists there. Red dwarf stars are the universe's marathon runners. They burn slowly and steadily, living not for billions of years like our sun, but for trillions. If life has indeed taken hold on K2-18b, it would have vast stretches of time to evolve, to grow, to become whatever it's meant to become. What stories might such a world tell? What dreams might bloom under that amber sky? Asterisk, asterisk, let's drift together, now into the gentle heart of how we came to know about this distant world. The James Webb Space Telescope, floating serenely at a point in space called L2 Imagine. It as a celestial parking spot about 1,000,000 miles from Earth operates with the patience of a monk in meditation. Its mirrors, covered in a gossamer thin layer of gold, collect starlight with the tenderness of cupped hands, gathering rainwater. The science of finding life on distant worlds is like learning to read whispers in a language you're only beginning to understand. When a planet passes between its star and us, an event astronomers call a transit, some of the star's light filters through the planet's atmosphere on its way to our telescopes. That light carries within it the chemical signatures of whatever gases float in that distant sky, like the way your breath on a cold morning carries the story of your body's inner workings. The James Webb Telescope reads these chemical signatures using a technique called spectroscopy. Think of it as cosmic archaeology, where instead of digging through layers of Earth, we dig through layers of light. Each molecule absorbs light at specific wavelengths, creating a unique fingerprint as recognizable as your own. Water vapor has its signature, carbon dioxide has another, and methane. Well, methane tells a particularly interesting story. On K2-18b, the telescope detected not just water vapor, but also carbon dioxide and methane. This combination is like finding the perfect recipe for life as we know it. But what made scientists' hearts beat a little faster was the possible detection of dimethyl sulfide. On our Earth, this molecule is produced almost exclusively by living organisms, tiny marine creatures, releasing it into our atmosphere like a calling card saying, "We are here." The planet itself is what scientists call a sub-Neptune larger than Earth, but smaller than Neptune, likely with a thick atmosphere and possibly a global ocean beneath. Imagine a world that's mostly water, with perhaps floating continents or vast archipelagos of islands scattered across endless seas. Picture the gentle lap of alien waves against unknown shores, the soft susurrus of wind through atmospheric layers we can barely comprehend. K2-18b receives a similar amount of energy from its star as Earth receives from our sun, which means it sits in that magical zone where liquid water can exist on its surface. But unlike our rocky world, this planet might be a true ocean world, with depths that dwarf our deepest trenches and currents that flow according to laws of physics we're still learning to understand. The red dwarf star it orbits, K2-18, is about 2.3 billion years old, roughly half the age of our sun. This is still plenty of time for life to arise and evolve. But it also means this stellar system is in its youth, full of potential and possibility. Red dwarf stars are known for their stability. burning their nuclear fuel so slowly and efficiently that they can maintain steady energy output for hundreds of times longer than stars like our Sun. This stability is crucial for life. On Earth, our Sun's relatively steady energy output over billions of years has allowed life to evolve from simple molecules to the incredible diversity we see today. A planet orbiting a stable red dwarf might have even more time for this beautiful process of evolution to unfold, creating forms of life that we can't yet imagine, adapted to conditions that would seem alien to us, but perfectly natural to them. Let me tell you a story from long ago, a tale that connects us to this moment of cosmic discovery through the threads of human curiosity that stretch back through time, like starlight itself, in the year 1584. In a world lit by candlelight and warmed by fireplaces, an Italian monk named Giordano Bruno wrote something that would change how humanity thought about its place in the universe. He proposed that the stars were distant suns, each potentially surrounded by their own worlds, and that life might exist on those distant planets. For this radical idea, and others that challenged the established order, he was eventually burned at the stake in 1600, his final act of defiance being to turn his face away from the crucifix offered to him. Bruno couldn't have imagined the James Webb Space Telescope, but he carried within him the same spark of wonder that drives our exploration today. He looked up at the night sky with eyes unclouded by the assumption that Earth was the only possible home for life, and in doing so, he planted seeds of thought that would grow over the centuries into the scientific instruments and methods we use today. Fast forward to 1995, when two Swiss astronomers, Michel Mayor and Didier Queloz, discovered the first planet orbiting a sun-like star outside our solar system. 51 Pegasi b was nothing like Earth, a gas giant orbiting so close to its star that its year lasted only 4 days, but it proved that Bruno's intuition was correct. The universe was full of worlds. Since then, we've discovered thousands of exoplanets, each one adding to our understanding of how common or rare worlds like Earth might be. Some are scorching hot, tidally locked to their stars, with one side in permanent day and the other in eternal night. Others are frozen ice balls drifting through the cosmic cold. But occasionally, just occasionally, we find one that makes us pause and wonder, could this be another home for life? The story of K218b begins with the Kepler Space Telescope, launched in 2009 with the simple mission of staring at a patch of sky and watching for the tiny dimming that occurs when a planet passes in front of its star. Kepler was like a patient lighthouse keeper, maintaining its vigil through the darkness, recording every flicker of starlight with mechanical precision. In 2015, Kepler detected the subtle signal of K218b transiting across the face of its red dwarf star. The planet blocked just a tiny fraction of the star's light, less than 0.1%, but it was enough. That brief dimming, lasting just a few hours and repeating every 33 days, announced the existence of a world 2.6 times the radius of Earth, orbiting in its star's habitable zone. But Kepler could only tell us that the planet existed. To learn about its atmosphere, to search for signs of life, we needed a more powerful eye on the cosmos. Enter the James Webb Space Telescope, with its unprecedented ability to analyze the atmospheres of distant worlds by studying the starlight that filters through them. The ancient Greek philosopher Democritus, who lived around 400 BCE, proposed that the Milky Way was composed of countless distant stars. He had no telescope, no scientific instruments beyond his own eyes and mind, yet he intuited something profound about the scale and nature of our universe. Like Bruno centuries later, he carried within him that essential human quality, the ability to look at the unknown and imagine possibilities. Tonight, as you rest in the comfort of your bed, you are part of this same story. Every human who has ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, what if, has contributed to the chain of curiosity that led us to this moment of potential discovery. Your wonder, your capacity for awe, connects you to Bruno, to Democritus, to the scientists working today to understand our place in the cosmos. The story continues to unfold, gentle and patient as starlight itself. Asterisk, asterisk, close your eyes and let us embark on a journey not through space this time, but inward to the very foundations of what makes life possible. And then back outward to imagine how these same foundations might manifest on a world 22 light years away. Begin with your breath. Feel the oxygen molecules flowing into your lungs, each one a tiny key unlocking energy from the glucose in your cells. This oxygen was once trapped in water molecules in the primordial oceans of Earth, freed by ancient cyanobacteria that learned to harness sunlight billions of years ago. Those same bacteria, floating like microscopic gardens in early seas, slowly transformed our planet's atmosphere, making complex life possible. Now imagine diving deeper into the warm rivers of your bloodstream, where millions of red blood cells carry this oxygen to every corner of your body. Each cell is a universe unto itself, filled with molecular machinery more complex than any factory humans have ever built. Mitochondria, those ancient bacterial partners that took up residence in our cells eons ago, transform oxygen and glucose into the energy that powers your thoughts, your dreams, your gentle descent into sleep, of let's go smaller still, into the quantum realm where electrons dance in probability clouds around atomic nuclei, where the very foundations of chemistry emerge from the strange laws of the very small. Here, in this realm of uncertainty and wave functions, the carbon atoms that form the backbone of every molecule in your body were forged in the nuclear furnaces of dying stars billions of years ago. You are, quite literally, made of stardust. Carl Sagan once said, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." And in this moment, as we drift through scales of existence from the quantum to the cosmic, that truth reveals itself with gentle clarity. The same physical laws that govern the behavior of electrons in your neurons also govern the behavior of molecules in the atmosphere of K218b. The same carbon that forms the backbone of your DNA was scattered through space by ancient supernova, eventually condensing into both the Earth beneath you and that distant world circling a red dwarf star. Now let's reverse our journey, flowing back out from the quantum realm, through your cells, through your body, through your room, your home, your city, expanding our view like a camera pulling back in a cosmic movie. Earth shrinks to a point of light, the sun becomes just another star, and we drift outward through the local group of galaxies, through space-time itself, carrying with us the knowledge that life, that precious, improbable, beautiful phenomenon might not be unique to our small corner of existence. Imagine now that we could somehow travel at the speed of light itself, surfing on photons toward K2 to 18b. The journey would take 22 years time enough for a child to grow into adulthood, for seasons to cycle, for life to unfold in all its ordinary miracles. As we traveled, we would pass through the spaces between stars, vast regions that seem empty, but are actually filled with the thin whisper of hydrogen gas, cosmic dust, and the faint echo of the Big Bang itself. Finally, we arrive at our destination, settling gently into orbit around this alien world. If it has an ocean, as scientists suspect, what might we see? Perhaps the waters are tinted by different minerals, casting the world in shades of turquoise or amber. Maybe there are continents, their shores carved by the patient work of alien tides, their surfaces perhaps covered in something analogous to forests, not trees as we know them, but structures that reach toward their red dwarf sun, converting starlight into the energy of life. The atmosphere might be thicker than Earth's, creating a gentle greenhouse effect that keeps the global ocean from freezing. Clouds might form in patterns unlike any we've seen, driven by the unique interplay of a tidally locked world one side forever facing its star, the other in eternal night, with currents of air and water flowing between the two hemispheres in vast, slow cycles. And in this ocean, in this atmosphere, life might exist in forms we can barely imagine. Not necessarily the complex, multicellular organisms of Earth, but perhaps vast networks of microscopic life, as interconnected and purposeful as the neural networks in your own brain. Communities of organisms that have learned to work together across scales of space and time that dwarf human experience. The molecules of dimethyl sulfide that the James Webb Telescope might have detected could be the breath of countless tiny organisms. Each one is oblivious to our observation, as you are to the individual bacteria in your own microbiome, yet together creating a signature that reaches across 22 light years to whisper to us, life finds a way. Asterisk, asterisk, as you sink deeper into the embrace of your pillow, let me share with you some of the universe's quieter secrets, the gentle surprises that make K218b and worlds like it even more wondrous than we first imagined. Did you know that red dwarf stars, like the one that warms K218b, make up about 75% of all stars in our galaxy? They are the universe's most common stellar citizens, burning so slowly and steadily that they will outlive our sun by hundreds of billions of years. While our sun will eventually expand into a red giant and fade to a white dwarf, red dwarfs will continue their patient vigil, providing steady energy to any worlds that orbit them, long after our own solar system has become a memory written in cosmic dust. This means that if life has indeed taken hold on K218b, it has an almost unimaginable amount of time to evolve and flourish. Imagine evolutionary timescales so vast that entire ecosystems could rise, mature, and transform countless times over. Life forms could become so perfectly adapted to their world that they seem like magic to our earthbound understanding, perhaps. Organisms that can photosynthesize using the deep red light of their star, or creatures that navigate by sensing magnetic fields in ways we're only beginning to comprehend. Here's a particularly soothing thought. K2 to 18b is what astronomers call a Hycean world, a term coined from hydrogen and ocean. These planets have thick hydrogen atmospheres above global oceans, creating conditions that might be surprisingly hospitable to life. The hydrogen atmosphere acts like a warm blanket, trapping heat and maintaining stable temperatures, even at great distances from their star. It's as if the universe has designed a cosmic greenhouse, perfectly suited for the gentle chemistry of life. The water on K2 to 18b, if our suspicions are correct, might be unlike any water we know on Earth. Under the pressure of that thick atmosphere, it could exist in forms we rarely see, supercritical water that's neither liquid nor gas, but something in between, capable of dissolving minerals and nutrients in ways that could create entirely new pathways for biological chemistry. Imagine vast underwater currents carrying not just heat and nutrients, but information, chemical signals that coordinate life processes across entire ocean basins. Another quiet miracle. The James Webb Telescope detected these signs of life not by looking directly at K218b, which would be impossible at such distances, but by analyzing just 0.001% of the starlight that filtered through the planet's atmosphere during its transit. It's as if we determined the contents of a distant library by examining a single photon that had briefly passed through its window. The precision required for such measurements is beyond extraordinary. It's like detecting the shadow of a moth passing in front of a lighthouse beam from 1,000 miles away. The red dwarf star, K2 to 18, is actually part of a triple star system. Though its companions are so distant, they barely influence the planet we're interested in. Still, imagine the night sky on K218b, if it has a night side at all, It might be graced by the gentle light of two additional suns, so distant they appear as nothing more than the brightest stars in an alien constellation. Scientists estimate that there could be billions of Hycean worlds in our galaxy, alone billions of ocean planets wrapped in hydrogen blankets, each one a potential cradle for life. The universe, it seems, is not stingy with its opportunities for biology. If anything, it appears to be almost generous with possibility, scattered worlds like seeds across the cosmic garden, each one an experiment in the grand laboratory of existence. Perhaps most beautifully, the light that carried news of K2 to 18B's atmosphere to our telescopes began its journey when the woolly mammoth still walked the earth. That ancient starlight, carrying within it the molecular signatures of a distant world, traveled through space for over 22,000 years before arriving at the precise moment when humanity had developed the wisdom and technology to understand its message. It's as if the universe has perfect timing, revealing its secrets exactly when we're ready to receive them. And here's a thought to carry you into deeper rest. While you sleep tonight, the James Webb Telescope continues its patient watch, its golden mirrors collecting starlight from thousands of worlds we haven't even discovered yet. Each photon that touches those mirrors carries stories we haven't yet learned to read, secrets about worlds and possibilities that are waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves to human consciousness. The cosmos is full of such patient revelations, gentle discoveries waiting in the darkness between stars, as quiet and persistent as your own breathing. Asterisk, asterisk, let your mind drift now like a leaf on a cosmic stream, as we contemplate what this discovery means for us, here in the warmth of our earthly beds, under the familiar constellations of home. There's something profoundly comforting about the possibility of life on K2 to 18B, not because it suggests we might someday visit such a world, but because it whispers to us that we are not alone in our experience of existence. Somewhere in the darkness between stars, under the amber light of a red dwarf sun, other forms of consciousness might be having their own version of this moment, perhaps settling into whatever passes for sleep in their world, perhaps contemplating the mystery of existence just as we are now. The ancient philosophers spoke of the music of the spheres, the idea that celestial bodies create a kind of harmony as they move through space. While we know now that space is too thin to carry sound waves, there's still a deep truth in that metaphor. Each world orbiting each star is like a note in a vast cosmic symphony. And the discovery of K2-18b suggests that the symphony includes not just the mechanical music of gravity and motion, but the far more subtle melody of life itself. Consider how this changes our relationship with the night sky. When you look up at the stars now, you're not just seeing distant suns, you're potentially seeing the home lights of other worlds, other forms of life pursuing their own quiet dramas of survival, growth, and perhaps even wonder. That pinprick of light that is K2 to 18, barely visible to the naked eye in the constellation Leo, might be warming oceans where alien organisms are engaging in the same fundamental activities that define life everywhere, seeking energy, reproducing, adapting, and perhaps even dreaming. The great biologist E.O. Wilson coined the term biophilia to describe humanity's innate affinity for life and living systems. We feel more at peace in gardens than in parking lots, more restored by forests than by shopping malls. The discovery of potential life on K2 to 18b expands our biophilia to cosmic scales. We are not just lovers of Earth's life, but of life as a universal principle, a cosmic phenomenon that might be unfolding on countless worlds throughout the galaxy. Perspective offers a kind of existential comfort that goes deeper than religious or philosophical doctrine. It suggests that consciousness, awareness, the simple fact of being alive and able to contemplate existence, is not a cosmic accident, but potentially a fundamental feature of the universe itself. We are not strangers in a hostile void, but participants. in a process so vast and ancient that it predates our solar system by billions of years, that the molecules in your body, the carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and trace elements that make your thoughts and dreams possible were forged in the nuclear hearts of stars that lived and died before our sun was born. You are made of stellar ashes, but you are not just stellar ashes. You are stellar ashes that have learned to think, to feel, to wonder about their own origins. And if life exists on K2-18b, it too represents matter that has somehow awakened to itself, that has organized itself into patterns complex enough to sustain awareness. This is perhaps the deepest meaning of the James Webb discovery, not just that life might exist elsewhere, but that the capacity for matter to become conscious, to experience beauty and wonder, and the gentle peace of a moment like this, might be written into the very fabric of reality itself. The same physical laws that govern the formation of galaxies and the fusion of hydrogen in stellar cores also govern the delicate chemistry of neurotransmitters in your brain as you drift towards sleep. There's a Zen saying, "You are the universe," experiencing itself subjectively. Tonight, as you rest in the darkness while your planet spins through space at thousands of miles per hour, carrying you around a star that is itself moving through the galaxy at even greater speeds, you embody this truth. You are stardust that has learned to contemplate stars, matter that has become curious about its own nature, and somewhere, perhaps 22 light years away, other arrangements of stardust are having their own subjective experience of existence, their own version of consciousness arising from the infinite creativity of the cosmos. The universe is not just vast and ancient, it is imaginative, constantly experimenting with new ways of organizing matter and energy into patterns that can think and feel and wonder. This is not loneliness, but the deepest form of companionship. Knowledge that consciousness itself might be as natural and widespread as starlight, as gentle and persistent as gravity, as essential to the universe as the elements themselves. You are not an accident, but an expression of something fundamental about the nature of existence, something that might be expressing itself in countless forms across countless worlds, each one unique, but all part of the same magnificent, unfolding story. As you settle deeper into the soft embrace of sleep, let us explore the tender connections between the microscopic and the cosmic, between the intimate rhythm of your heartbeat and the vast pulsing of starlight across the galaxy. Think about it. Water in your body, roughly 60% of your entire being, is H2O, the same simple molecule that might be flowing in vast oceans on K2-18b. Every drop of water you've ever drunk, every tear you've ever shed, was once part of a comet, a cloud, an ancient sea. The water molecules in your cells have been recycling through Earth's systems for billions of years, falling as rain on dinosaurs, flowing through the roots of the first trees, carrying nutrients through the bodies of countless organisms before, finding their way to you. Now imagine that somewhere on K2-18b, alien water follows its own grand cycle, evaporating from crimson seas under the gentle heat of a red dwarf star, condensing into clouds in a hydrogen-rich atmosphere, falling as rain that might nourish forms of life we can't yet imagine. That water, too, tells a story of cosmic recycling, of matter endlessly, transforming itself while maintaining the essential patterns that make existence possible. The beauty of this perspective is how it dissolves the boundaries between self and cosmos. You are not separate from the universe looking out at it. You are the universe experiencing itself from the inside, from the intimate perspective of consciousness arising within matter. Your thoughts about K2-18b are the cosmos thinking about itself across vast distances of space and time. When you feel wonder at the possibility of alien life, you are feeling the universe's own capacity for self-amazement. This understanding brings with it a profound sense of belonging. We often speak of feeling at home on Earth, But the James Webb discovery suggests something even more expansive, that we might be at home in the universe itself. The same physical principles that cradle life on our blue world might be cradling life on worlds throughout the galaxy. We are not cosmic refugees seeking shelter in a hostile void, but native children of a universe that seems almost eager to birth consciousness wherever conditions allow. Consider the elegant economy of natural law that makes this possible. The same electromagnetic forces that hold atoms together in your DNA also hold together the complex molecules that might exist in K2 to 18b's atmosphere. The same weak nuclear force that allows hydrogen to fuse in stellar cores, creating the heavier elements necessary for life, operates identically in the red dwarf star that warms our distant planetary neighbor. The universe needs only 4 fundamental forces and a handful of particles to create everything from quarks to quasars, from bacteria to galaxies, from your dreams to the potential dreams of alien organisms 22 light years away. There's something deeply comforting about this underlying unity. Beneath all the apparent complexity and strangeness of existence lies a simple, elegant set of rules that the universe follows everywhere, at all scales, at all times. The electron orbiting the nucleus in an oxygen atom in your lungs follows the same quantum mechanical principles as electrons in oxygen atoms that might exist in the atmosphere of K2-18b. Physics is the universe's universal language, spoken fluently by every particle, every planet, every possible form of life. Cosmic perspective offers a unique kind of peace. Your worries, your daily concerns, your human dramas, they don't become meaningless in the face of such vastness, but they do find their proper context. You are a temporary arrangement of ancient atoms that has somehow achieved the miracle of self-awareness, and that alone makes you precious beyond measure. But you are also part of something infinitely larger than yourself, a cosmic process of awakening that might be unfolding simultaneously on countless worlds throughout the universe. The red light from K2 to 18 that the James Webb Telescope analyzes began its journey toward Earth around the time humans were first developing agriculture, first learning to domesticate plants and animals, first creating permanent settlements. That light has been traveling through space while civilizations rose and fell, while our species learned to write, to build, to dream of the stars. And now, at this precise moment in cosmic history, that ancient light arrives at our detectors, carrying news of potential life from a distant world. The timing seems almost magical, but perhaps it's not coincidence at all. Perhaps the universe has its own internal clock, its own sense of appropriate timing. Perhaps consciousness and the ability to detect consciousness in distant places are meant to emerge together, like different aspects of a single cosmic flowering. We develop the wisdom to search for life elsewhere, just as life elsewhere develops to the point where it can be detected. This suggests that discovery itself might be a fundamental force in the universe, as natural as gravity or electromagnetism. The universe seems driven to know itself, to create conscious beings capable of looking outward and inward with equal wonder, to spawn countless forms of awareness that can appreciate the beauty and complexity of existence from countless different perspectives. You are part of this cosmic project of self-discovery, this universal awakening to itself through the eyes of conscious beings. Your capacity to feel awe at the possibility of life on K2-18b is the cosmos feeling awe at its own creativity. Your peaceful descent into sleep is the universe resting in the knowledge of its own vastness and beauty. Asterisk, asterisk in the gentle darkness. Behind your closed eyelids, imagine now the invisible threads that connect all life, all consciousness, all possibility across the vast tapestry of space and time, ... Their single quotes as an ancient concept in many wisdom traditions, the idea that all existence is interconnected, that nothing exists in isolation. Modern science reveals this interconnectedness in ways the ancients could never have imagined. The carbon in your muscles was forged in the furnace of a dying star. The oxygen you breathe was exhaled by plants that learned to split water molecules and release their gift to the atmosphere. The iron in your blood was created in stellar explosions, so violent they briefly outshone entire galaxies. But the connections go deeper than mere chemical recycling. The same mathematical relationships that govern the spiral of your DNA also govern the spiral of galaxies. The same geometric principles that organize the chambers of your heart also organize the crystalline structures of distant worlds. The universe seems to have a limited vocabulary of forms and patterns, but it uses these basic templates to create infinite variations on the theme of existence. If life exists on K218b, it too is built from this cosmic alphabet of pattern and possibility. Its organisms might look nothing like Earth's life forms, but they would necessarily follow the same deep organizational principles: the need to extract energy from their environment, to maintain their structure against the constant pull of entropy, to reproduce their patterns across time and space. They would be distant cousins to every living thing on Earth, not through common ancestry, but through common participation in the universal project of complexity arising from simplicity. This perspective transforms how we understand ourselves and our place in the cosmic story. We are not accidents, but experiments, sophisticated expressions of the universe's inherent creativity. Every human culture has invented its own stories to explain why we exist. But perhaps the deepest answer is simply this: we exist because existence itself is creative, because the universe delights in exploring every possible way that matter and energy can organize themselves into forms capable of awareness. Beauty, love, and wonder. The search for life on distant worlds is really a search for confirmation of this cosmic creativity. Each potentially habitable planet we discover, each biosignature we detect, each hint that life might exist elsewhere, adds another note to the symphony of evidence that consciousness is not a fluke, but a fundamental feature of reality itself. Consider the profound patience this requires. The universe is 13.8 billion years old, but complex life on Earth has existed for less than 1 billion years. Humanity has existed for perhaps 300,000 years, and we've had the technology to detect exoplanets for less than 30 years. We are newcomers to cosmic awareness, cosmic infants just beginning to open our eyes and look around at the vast nursery of existence in which we find ourselves. Yet, already we've discovered thousands of worlds, detected water vapor in distant atmospheres, found hints of biological activity on planets so far away that their light takes decades to reach us. We are the universe's newest experiment in self-awareness, and we're proving remarkably good at it. In the cosmic blink of an eye since we first looked up and wondered about the stars, we've developed the capability to analyze the atmospheric chemistry of worlds circling other suns. This rapid development of cosmic consciousness suggests something profound about the nature of intelligence itself. Perhaps awareness, once it emerges anywhere in the universe, naturally develops toward cosmic scales. Perhaps there's something inherent in consciousness that drives it to seek connection, to look beyond itself, to search for evidence of other awareness in the vast darkness between stars. If this is true, then the potential life on K218b might be engaged in its own version of this same search. Perhaps at this very moment, as you drift towards sleep under Earth's familiar constellations, alien minds under foreign stars are contemplating their own night sky, wondering if consciousness like theirs exists elsewhere in the galaxy, developing their own instruments to peer across the cosmic distances and search for signs of life. The thought creates a beautiful symmetry: conscious beings throughout the galaxy, each adapted to their own world's unique conditions, but all sharing the same fundamental drive to understand their place in the cosmic story, all participating in the universe's great project of coming to know itself through countless different eyes, countless different forms of awareness. That your peaceful rest tonight is part of this grand awakening. As you sleep, your brain processes the day's experiences, consolidates memories, dreams that connect seemingly unrelated ideas in novel ways. This is consciousness at work, taking the raw material of experience and weaving it into new patterns of understanding. On a cosmic scale, each conscious being in the universe is like a neuron in a vast cosmic brain, processing information, making connections, gradually building a more complete picture of what existence means and what it might become. The James Webb Telescope, floating silently in space, continues its patient work of cosmic neurology, gathering information from distant worlds, building our understanding of how life emerges and evolves throughout the galaxy. Each observation, each spectrum, each carefully analyzed beam of starlight adds to the growing database of cosmic consciousness. The universe's expanding knowledge of its own creative potential. Asterisk, asterisk, let your consciousness float now like a gentle cloud drifting across the night sky. As we explore the deeper mysteries that K2 to 18b whispers to us about the nature of time, memory, and the patient unfolding of cosmic possibility. When the James Webb Telescope analyzes light from K2-18b, it's not just detecting the present state of that distant world, it's reading a letter written in starlight 22 years ago. The atmospheric chemistry we observe is ancient history by human standards, a snapshot of conditions that existed when many of you listening tonight were children, or perhaps not yet born. This creates a beautiful temporal puzzle. We are simultaneously looking into the past of another world, while that world continues its own journey into futures we cannot yet imagine. This time delay is not a limitation but a gift, a reminder that the universe operates on scales that dwarf human impatience. The potential life on K2-18b has had 22 additional years to evolve, to adapt, to perhaps develop in ways that would astonish us if we could somehow see its present state. Meanwhile, the light-carrying news of Earth's current condition is just beginning its own 22-year journey toward that distant world, carrying signatures of our atmosphere, our civilization, our moment in cosmic time. Imagine the poetry of this. Cosmic correspondence messages written in wavelengths of light, traveling at the universe's speed limit, carrying news between worlds that might both harbor the miracle of consciousness. If beings on K2-18b have developed their own version of the James Webb Telescope, they might at this very moment be analyzing ancient light from Earth, discovering signs of oxygen and water vapor that originated during the early years of the 21st century, wondering if consciousness like theirs exists around our yellow star dot. This exchange of information across cosmic distances reveals something profound about the nature of communication itself. Every conversation, every story, every gentle bedtime narrative like this one is really a form of time travel thoughts and experiences from one moment in time, encoded into patterns of sound or light or electromagnetic radiation, traveling through space to arrive at a different place and time, where they are decoded back into meaning by another conscious mind. The universe is filled with such messages, most of them unintentional. Every star broadcasts its chemical composition through the spectrum of its light. Every planet with an atmosphere tells its story to anyone with the instruments to listen. Even now, radio waves from Earth's early television broadcasts are expanding outward in a sphere centered on our solar system, carrying I Love Lucy and early news broadcasts toward distant stars at the speed of light. Inadvertent messages from our species to any listening cosmic neighbors. But perhaps the most profound message is the simplest one. The mere fact of our existence, our ability to wonder about existence elsewhere, our capacity to build instruments sensitive enough to detect water vapor in the atmosphere of a world 22 light years away. This capacity for curiosity, for reaching beyond ourselves toward connection with the unknown, might be the universe's greatest achievement. Matter, organized so exquisitely that it can contemplate matter, consciousness arising from complexity, to observe and wonder at the very complexity that gave it birth. The red dwarf star that warms. K2 to 18b will continue burning steadily for trillions of years, long after our sun has exhausted its nuclear fuel and faded to a white dwarf. If life has indeed taken hold in that distant system, it has vast stretches of time ahead of it, time enough for evolution to explore possibilities we can't begin to imagine, time enough for consciousness to develop into forms as far beyond current human awareness as we are beyond the first microbes in Earth's ancient seas. This vast temporal perspective offers a unique kind of comfort. The universe is not in a hurry. It has all the time in the world, literally all the time in all the worlds, to explore every possible variation on the theme of existence. The emergence of life, the development of consciousness, the gradual awakening of matter to its own miraculous nature. These are not rushed processes, but patient unfoldings that occur across scales of time that make human lifespans seem like heartbeats. Yet within that cosmic patience, each moment remains precious. Your consciousness, here and now, in this specific arrangement of atoms that will never again be exactly duplicated, is a unique expression of the universe's creative potential. The fact that you can contemplate K218b, can feel wonder at the possibility of alien life, can experience the gentle peace of settling into sleep while pondering cosmic mysteries. This is the universe celebrating its own capacity for awareness through you, the potential organisms on K218b. If they exist, are engaged in their own version of this celebration, experiencing their world through senses adapted to detect red dwarf starlight, navigating currents and hydrogen-rich seas, perhaps even developing their own forms of art, beauty. Wonder at the cosmic conditions that allow their existence. They are the universe experiencing itself from a radically different perspective, but participating in the same fundamental project of consciousness, appreciating the miracle of its own emergence from unconscious matter. This creates a kind of cosmic democracy of awareness, where every conscious being, no matter how different from us, participates equally in the universe's ongoing project of self-discovery. The microbe that might exist in K218b's global ocean is as much a part of this project as the human mind that contemplates its possible existence. Both represent matter that has learned to process information, to respond to environment, to maintain the complex organization that we call life. Asterisk, asterisk, as you sink deeper into the soft darkness, let us contemplate the gentle paradox of distance and intimacy that K2 to 18b represents, so far away in space, yet so close to us in the fundamental patterns of existence. 22 light years. It's a distance that challenges human comprehension. If you could travel at the speed of a commercial airliner, the journey to K2 to 18b would take about 25 million years. Even at the speeds achieved by our fastest spacecraft, the voyage would span hundreds of thousands of human generations. Yet in cosmic terms, K218b is practically next door, one of our nearest potentially habitable neighbors in a galaxy that spans 100,000 light years from edge to edge. This juxtaposition of vast distance and relative proximity mirrors something profound about consciousness itself. Your awareness, nestled within the neural networks of your brain, can instantaneously traverse those 22 light years in imagination. In the time it takes for your neurons to fire, your mind can journey to that distant world, can visualize its crimson seas, can wonder about the forms of life that might inhabit its alien depths. Consciousness, it seems, is the universe's solution to the problem of distance matter organized so cleverly that it can transcend the limitations of its physical location and contemplate the infinite spaces beyond itself. the molecules that enable this miraculous feat of mental travel. The neurotransmitters carrying signals between your brain cells are built from the same elements that might exist in the atmosphere of K2-18b. Carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, the alphabet of complexity that writes both your thoughts and the potential life of distant worlds. You are thinking about K2 to 18b using carbon atoms that were forged in stellar furnaces, possibly the same stellar furnaces that created the carbon atoms that might, at this very moment, be participating in biological processes under that red dwarf star. Asterisk, asterisk. This elemental kinship creates an intimacy that transcends distance. You are not separate from K2-18b, but connected to it through the deep genealogy of matter itself. The calcium in your bones and the calcium that might exist in the rocky core of that distant world were created in the same type of stellar explosion. The water in your cells and the water that might flow in alien seas underwent the same process of molecular formation in the cold clouds between stars. Even your capacity to feel wonder at these connections is built from cosmic materials. The iron atoms in your blood, essential for carrying oxygen to every cell in your body, were forged in the nuclear fires of supernova stellar explosions, so energetic they briefly outshone entire galaxies. That iron enables the oxygenation of your brain, which enables the neural activity that allows you to contemplate the iron that might exist in the core of K2-18b. You are the universe using iron to think about iron, using matter to contemplate matter, using consciousness to explore the very processes that made consciousness possible. The search for life on distant worlds is ultimately a search for family, not biological family, a cosmic family, other arrangements of stardust that have achieved the miracle of self-awareness. Each potentially habitable world we discover expands our sense of home, our understanding of where consciousness might arise, our appreciation for the universe's apparently endless creativity in organizing matter into forms capable of experience, wonder, and perhaps even love. Love, that most intimate of human experiences, might itself be a cosmic phenomenon, a fundamental force that emerges wherever consciousness becomes complex enough to recognize itself in others. If life exists on K2-18b, if it has evolved to the point of self-awareness, it might have discovered its own versions of affection, care, a drive to preserve and nurture complexity in a universe where entropy constantly works to return everything to simpler states. This suggests that the James Webb Telescope is not just detecting atmospheric chemistry, but potentially discovering evidence of cosmic love, the universe's tendency to create and preserve conditions where consciousness can flourish, where matter can organize itself into forms capable of appreciating beauty, creating meaning, and reaching across vast distances to seek connection with other conscious beings. Your peaceful descent into sleep tonight is itself an expression of this cosmic love, your body's wisdom in creating conditions for restoration, for the consolidation of memories, for the dreaming that helps consciousness process and integrate its experiences. Sleep is the universe caring for itself through you, ensuring that the miraculous arrangement of matter that constitutes your awareness continues to function, continues to participate in the great project of cosmic self-discovery. The potential. Life on K2-18b, if it exists, might have its own versions of rest, restoration, the rhythms that allow complex systems to maintain themselves across time. It might experience its own forms of peace, its own moments of quiet contemplation under alien stars, its own gentle surrender to the cycles that sustain consciousness in a dynamic, ever-changing cosmos. As you rest now, you participate in patterns that might be universal, the rhythm of activity and repose, the cycle of attention and release, the gentle alternation between engagement with the world and retreat into the inner spaces where consciousness renews itself. You are not just falling asleep, but joining a cosmic rhythm that might be echoed on countless worlds throughout the galaxy, wherever consciousness has emerged to experience the beauty and mystery of existence. Asterisk, asterisk, and so we come to the gentle end of our cosmic journey, like a spacecraft slowly settling into orbit around the peaceful planet of sleep. Our exploration of K2 to 18b and its promise of life drawing to its natural, restful conclusion, ... as you lie here now, breathing slowly and deeply, remember that you carry within yourself the same elements that might be stirring to life 22 light years away. The carbon in your DNA, the oxygen in your blood, the calcium in your bones, all of it forged in the hearts of ancient stars, all of it participating in the universe's grand experiment with consciousness, complexity, and the endless creativity of matter, organizing itself into ever more beautiful and intricate forms. The James Webb Space Telescope, with its golden mirrors spread like wings in the cosmic darkness, continues its patient vigil even as you rest. Through the night, it will gather more starlight, more whispers from distant worlds, more evidence of the universe's remarkable fertility in creating conditions where life can take root and flourish. Each photon that touches those mirrors carries stories we are only beginning to learn how to read, tales of worlds beyond imagining, of possibilities that expand our understanding of what it means to exist in this vast, ancient, surprisingly intimate cosmos. K218b, if it harbors life, represents something profound about the nature of existence itself. It suggests that consciousness, awareness, the simple miracle of being alive and able to contemplate one's own existence, is not a cosmic accident, but potentially a fundamental feature of reality. The same physical laws that govern the formation of galaxies and the fusion of hydrogen in stellar cores also govern the delicate chemistry that makes your thoughts and dreams possible. You are not separate from the universe, but an expression of it. Matter that has learned to wonder about matter. Stardust that has developed the capacity to contemplate stars. This perspective offers a unique kind of peace, the peace that comes from recognizing your place in something infinitely larger than yourself, while simultaneously understanding that your individual consciousness is precious beyond measure. You are a temporary arrangement of ancient atoms that has somehow achieved the miracle of self-awareness, and that alone makes you a treasure in the cosmic inventory of wonders. But you are also part of a story that began with the Big Bang itself, and continues to unfold through every conscious moment, every act of curiosity, every gentle question about what lies beyond the familiar boundaries of home. The same creative force that organized the first hydrogen atoms into stars, that guided the formation of heavier elements in stellar furnaces, that allowed planets to condense from cosmic dust, also organized the neural networks in your brain that allow you to experience wonder, beauty, love, and the peaceful satisfaction of understanding, even if only partially, your place in the grand scheme of existence. The potential life on K218b, swimming in alien seas under the light of a red dwarf star, might be engaged in its own version of this same journey of discovery. It might have its own ways of contemplating the mystery of existence, its own forms of art and beauty, its own moments of quiet revelation, when the interconnectedness of all things becomes suddenly, beautifully clear. In imagining such possibilities, you expand the universe's awareness of its own creative potential. You participate in the cosmic project of consciousness, exploring the full range of what it means to be alive. The water vapor in K2 to 18b's atmosphere, the dimethyl sulfide that might signal the presence of living organisms, the thick hydrogen blanket that keeps that distant world warm, all of it represents the universe's infinite patience in creating and maintaining conditions where complexity can emerge from simplicity, where consciousness can arise from the dance of molecules, where life can find a way to flourish, even in environments that seem alien to our Earth-centered perspective. Tonight, as you drift into sleep, you join a rhythm that might be universal. The cycle of activity and rest, engagement, and renewal that allows complex systems to maintain themselves across time. Your brain will process the day's experiences, consolidate memories, perhaps even dream dreams that connect the wonder of K218b to other mysteries and beauties in your life. This is consciousness at work even in rest, the universe using thee. Quiet hours of sleep to organize and integrate information, to prepare for another day of awareness and discovery. The cosmos is patient and vast, ancient beyond human comprehension, yet constantly renewing itself through the emergence of new forms of consciousness, new ways of experiencing and understanding existence. You are part of this eternal renewal, this cosmic flowering of awareness. That might be happening simultaneously on countless worlds throughout the galaxy. Your capacity for wonder connects you not just to K218b, but to every form of consciousness that has ever emerged, or ever will emerge from the creative depths of space and time. As sleep takes you gently in its arms, remember that you are stardust. That has learned to dream, matter that has become capable of love, atoms that have organized themselves into the miracle of a conscious being capable of contemplating the infinite, mystery and beauty of existence itself. The same elements that might be participating in biological processes on K2 to 18b are participating right now in the biology of your peaceful rest, the chemistry of your dreams, the physics of your breathing as it slows and deepens. Somewhere in the darkness between stars, other arrangements of cosmic dust might be having their own version of this moment, settling into their own forms of rest under alien constellations, perhaps contemplating the possibility that consciousness like theirs exists elsewhere in the galaxy, feeling the same sense of cosmic kinship that you feel as you consider their possible existence. Asterisk. Thank you for joining me on this gentle journey through space and time, through the scales of existence, from the quantum to the cosmic. Thank you for bringing your wonder, your curiosity, your capacity for peaceful contemplation to this exploration of what it means to live in a universe that seems almost eager to create conditions where consciousness can emerge and flourish. Wherever you are in this beautiful world of ours, whatever time zone cradles your rest, whatever dreams await you in the hours ahead, know that you are part of something magnificent and ongoing, the universe, coming to know itself through countless eyes, countless forms of awareness, countless moments of wonder like the one we've shared tonight. May your dreams be filled with gentle starlight and cosmic possibility. May you rest peacefully in the knowledge that you are both infinitely small and infinitely precious in the grand scheme of existence. May you wake tomorrow with renewed appreciation for the miracle of consciousness, for the beauty of a universe creative enough to imagine forms of life on distant worlds, patient enough to allow them billions of years to evolve and flourish. Stars will continue their ancient dance while you sleep. The James Webb Telescope will continue gathering light from distant worlds. And somewhere, perhaps, on a planet warmed by the gentle light of a red dwarf star, other forms of consciousness will continue their own journey of discovery and wonder. Rest well, knowing that you are loved by the universe itself, cherished as a unique expression of cosmic creativity, treasured as a conscious being capable of appreciating the infinite beauty and mystery of existence. Wherever you are, I hope you're resting well tonight. May your dreams be peaceful and your mind at ease. May you feel the gentle embrace of the cosmos as you sleep, the same cosmic forces that might be nurturing life on K2 to 18b, nurturing your own rest and renewal. Good night, fellow traveler in the cosmic story. Good night, Stardust Dreamer. Good night, beautiful expression of the universe's endless capacity for consciousness, wonder, and love. Sleep now in peace, carried gently through the night by the same cosmic currents that carry planets around stars, that guide galaxies through space, that weave the fundamental forces of existence into the magnificent tapestry of reality in which we are all, forever and always, intimately at home. Good night.